Hello there viewers, good day to you guys. Welcome back to the channel. We're returning to a part 2 video on this 2009 GMC slash Chevrolet Savannah slash Express van. It's got the V8 5.3, I believe, 4L80 transmission. We've had this thing removed since the end of the last video. Customer brought it in for some oil leaks, and we found that the rear main crankshaft seal is leaking. So in this video, what we're going to do is finish pulling this thing down. We're going to pull the crank seal and big backing plate out of it. Then we're going to drop the oil pan, reseal the oil pan gasket and the rear main. And then once this engine is resealed, we'll put the transmission back on. Then we have to go up top, into the cabin, into the doghouse, and then change the valve cover gaskets. So stay tuned. This is going to be a very good part 2 video. Yeah, no time for pleasantries today, guys. We're getting right into it. So I'm going in here, got a 13mm socket on the electric ratchet. We're gonna get these bolts out of this cover and pull the cover and rear main off the back of the block. And my apologies, by the way, this is a 6 liter, not a 5.3, forgot to tell you that. We're gonna do the neutral drop disconnecting tactic on these fasteners here, since they're far away and I can't reach them and space is rather limited. Check this out, full speed ahead, Captain. Pop them out just like so. See, it's like an impact, but different. Ow, that would hit me in the face. That was uncomfortable. Right in the nose, right in the schnoz. Uh-oh, space, running out of space. There we go. Now we're cooking a little bit. Let's get those last two on the back side here. Aha! Okay, I believe that's all of the perimeter bolts coming out of this unit. Let's get these two 10 mils, these lower, longer bolts that run through the oil pan out, and then we can pop that rear cover off the back of the engine there. There we go. Get those guys out of the way there. Now, you can go up there with a pry bar device and pop that cover off of the back of the engine here. Here, you guys get up there. Yeah, I'd say right about there is good. So, coming up with the pry bar, let's get right behind that cover. Give it some pry action. Drop my nuts. I feel like someone's been in here before and they, I think they RTV silicone this cover on. There's a lot of sealant in place. There we go. Ew, it's leaking the oil on me. Got it. Oh man, there's sealant all over the back of the block. Come on, guys. Y'all should know better than that. These covers are stupid cheap and so are the gaskets. Man. Yeah, here, let's get out of here. Come over here. Let's go to the bench real quick. Look at this business. It's covered in sealant. They smeared RTV all over this gasket right here. That's completely unnecessary. I mean, it was a bad gasket. It was flattened out. This gasket's like $12 from the parts store. It costs less than the tube of sealant that you bought to reseal a bad gasket. That's no wonder the thing was leaking. Yeah, don't do that. Just buy the whole cover with the gasket and the rear seal in it. I think someone drove a new rear seal into it once upon a time. Look at that, yeah. Just popped right out. That's junk. Don't do that. Come here. Let me show you guys. Come out, cover. Yeah, you call Dorman for the win on this, you guys. Look at here. If I can get it untaped and unstuck in the box. There. Look, they gave us a new cover with the rear main, with a gasket, rubber impregnated. Seal is already built into it, and it does not look like this. That's horrible. This is nice and shiny. Horrible, nice and shiny. We want nice and shiny when we're working on our cars, people. Like I said, Dorman for the win on this one with some instructions. Yep, no sealant required. Okay, now that we've had some progression with the disassembly, let's continue by pulling the engine oil pan off of this unit down here. It's a series of 10mm fasteners. Here, let's go around to the front side next. We'll get the majority of these bolts out from this position right over here. On the front of the oil pan here, we've got this wiring harness that runs across. We need to just unbolt it right up here. Got one single bolt. There might be one on that side too, but there should just be a peg. I think that's just a little plastic peg that holds it. We'll know in a second. It should slide over and then drop down. Yeah, a little plastic peg on this side here. So that's gonna give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more bolts to pull out here.
Okay. Another one hiding out a little farther back. Get that guy. I don't think you guys can see it from where your point of view there. Sorry. Unclickage. There she is. Got a few more on the right. Moving back. There we go. I think I'm down to 3 bolts left. 4 bolts.
I should probably unbolt this oil cooler line right here. Get this guy disconnected. Oh, I got on my leg. Nasty. Yeah, that's all the oil running out of this line right here, dripping out of there. It's gross. All right, a couple more on the perimeter, and this pan's coming down. Down and out. Yeah. I think this is our last one over here under the oil waterfall. Very good. Okay, I think there's one more over here on the passenger side, and once that one's loose, this pan should be dropping down freely. Let's get this last one out here. Yep, coming down. There she is. Got it. Oil pan is down. Woo! Okay, so we're not quite finished yet. You see the oil pickup tube right here running down the length of the engine. She runs right back to there. There's an issue that happens on these GM engines where the O-ring, where this pickup tube bolts to the oil pump, that O-ring in there will get flattened out and it'll start to suck air. And if it sucks air, it's not sucking oil, and then you lose oil pressure. So while we're here and everything's exposed, we're gonna pull this pickup tube out real quick and re-O-ring its connection to the oil pump, ensuring years of trouble-free operation. So we got a 13mm nut here. Let's go ahead and pull that guy off. Drop our 13. We'll set you down right there next to the pan. We also have to take a drill to the oil pan and drill the gasket off of said oil pan. We'll do that in a minute, as soon as I get this guy disconnected from the oil pump. I'm hoping maybe I'll find that this O-ring in here is in good shape and someone's already done this, but you never know. We're gonna get some spillage here. I'm gonna get prepared. Oh, another 13. I missed one. Thought there was just a single. There we go. And the survey says, look at that, flattened out O-ring. See it? If you look past it, you can see it's like super duper flat. Yeah, definitely needed to be changed. That was gonna start leaking anytime. So all we've got to do, just pop that guy off of there. I've already ordered a new one. They come in a multi-pack now. Come here, you. Yeah, that's supposed to be rounded on the sides, but she's flat. So while we wait for an O-ring to show up, let's grab the pan and we can start drilling out the rivets that hold the gasket onto the pan. You see right there, there's a rivet, and I think another one right here on that side. Yeah, at least 2 pop rivets that hold this guy on. So once we get those drilled out, we can get this gasket off the pan. Then we'll take the pan to the parts washer, get it nice and shiny inside and out, and then that will be prepped and ready to go back together. Real simple. Gravity. Oh, this oil pan gravity. Double oil pan gravity. We got an oil pan on top of an oil pan. That one's out. Let me pull that filter off of here and we're ready to rock and roll. Come on, filter. There we go. To the parts washer with us. Check it out, got a new O-ring. There's our old unit, nice and flat, and the new one, not flat. So we'll take this new guy, slide it back over the tube, put some oil on it for lubrication. This tube is ready to go back onto the engine. And while I was waiting for this to arrive, I went ahead and did the cleanup of all the gasket surfaces inside and on the back side of the engine. So let's get back down below, get this thing into its home, and begin the reassembly process. All right, pickup tube coming in, new O-ring on the end over there. Let's maneuver this thing into its position here. We'll bolt her back in. It's in the pump up front. There's a 13 mil pinch lock nut. These bolt right to the connecting rod, or the crankshaft main bearing caps. That's the studded main bolt that holds the crank into the block. And speaking of bolts, here's the other one up front to bolt the tube to the oil pan. Get that guy threaded up. Electric ratchet. Click. All right, so that's hooked up to the pump. Super duper. All right, now I'm gonna go fetch the pan, set the gasket on it, get the sealant in the correct sealant locations, and we'll get that pan back up into position. You guys wait right back here. Okay, I've got the pan in my lap, the gasket is on it, and the bolts are in the gasket. Give you guys a peek here. So there's the pan, gasket, bolts are all pushed through into the rubber. I have sealant here, 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 and here to meet up with the covers here, 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 and here to provide extra sealing between the two metal surfaces. So now I'm gonna raise this whole pan assembly back up, slide it into position without smearing my sealant. Bear with me here, gotta do this just right, ever so carefully like. Get in there. Okay, we got some contact made. Ooh, heavy. I know you guys can't see, bear with me. I don't want to drop this thing here. Okay. I'll even drop my microphone. My mackerel phone. Okay, so I just need to go around and start threading all these bolts in. Come here. Get up in there, you. Let's get all the threads started and then we'll start to apply torque action. Flipping. Maybe my fingers are just the better tool. There we go. That one's in, that one's in. Let's get these little guys out back. Get y'all started. Uh-oh, drop one. Fell out. That one went back here in this rear corner. There's another one in front of it. Okay, pretty good so far. Let's start to run all these guys down and get them tight. For reals? Click.
Out the side a little bit, a couple more over here. And I got that one. Got that one, okay. Let's move around to the front and get the remainders. Nice.
Put that harness back, slide the pin in, and then we slide it over. There. One bolt to hold the harness to the pan. That's gonna go right in there somewhere, right here. Nice. Okay, we have returned back to the rear of the engine. I've already cleaned off the surface of the block of all that sealant, and we're coming up with the rear cover and the rear main seal. Sorry if my hands are in the way, guys, but space is a premium down here, and I gotta get this just right. Slide that unit right over in there. And she's in, I think. I think we're good. Looks good. Smells good. It must be good, it must be good. So, first, I'm gonna put the long bolts in through the oil pan down here in the back. The last two that we took out, we'll put those up through the hole, get them started in the cover. Then we'll get the remaining bolts that are on the back side of the cover up towards the top there. Yes, I could have put that cover on first, but I also could have done it just the way that I did, which is why, well, which is what I did. None of these are getting torque until they're all threaded in. Then I'll tighten those long bolts at the bottom first to draw this cover down onto the oil pan to seal the area between the pan and the cover. Then I'll go back and tighten down the rest of these against the block. Does that make sense? Hope so. Close quarters combat for sure. How about that guy? Yep. Okay, I think that's all of them threaded in. So now I'm gonna draw that unit down onto the oil pan. We'll see some sealant squish out when I tighten these up. Watch it. See it come down? Very good. So I may now go back up and tighten up the remaining bolts here on this cover with the correct size socket. Ow. There. A couple more. I'm getting noodle arm reaching up there. That's it. Nice and tight. She's sealed up. Yep. That electric ratchet got perfect torque on these bolts here. That's great. Good. That was good. Yep. Yep. Sweat just dripped out of my glove and onto my mouth. That's nasty. That was nasty, and it was my own sweat. Imagine that being someone else's sweat. It'd be horrible. Okay, so rear cover's on, oil pan's on. Let's get the flywheel back in. We're gonna slide it in. We're gonna be in the same orientation, same camera view, so bear with me. Okay, flywheel / flex plate. Just make sure there's no dirt and whatever sticking on back of the crank here. Nice and clean. Send this guy up. Okay, so I think we're ready to put this transmission back against the engine here and get her bolted back in. So she didn't come very far, so it shouldn't be too much of a bear to get that thing lined back up and back on the pegs. Just kind of roll it forward some here. Give it a tug. Oh, and I'm already smashing wires between the units here. Hang on. Get that stuff out of the way on this side. Okay, I need to lower this side down some. I went and stuck one of the bolts in on the driver's side, just to start to get everything in position here. Okay, we're pretty lined up, I think. Let's get a bolt into it. Try to draw this thing in with this bolt right here. Bear with me. We give this trans a quick tug. Okay, got a thread caught right there. That's in. Contact. Very good. Okay, so now the trans is pulled up to the back of the engine. We're still spinning free, so there's no interference at the flywheel here. Flywheel / torque converter. Let me go around to the other side. Make sure that side's looking pretty good. I'm gonna check these wires, make sure they're not pinched in between transmission and the bell housing, and they are not. Or the transmission and the block rather, and they're not. That's good. Okay, let me get these guys drawn down a little bit so we're fully flush. That one's in. Okay, transmission has been remated to the engine. Beautiful. Let's get one of the other studded bolts in on the side here. All the way up there. Ratchet coming in. Nice. Okay, that's all free and clear. That's free and clear. Okay, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and take the straps off of this the jack stand here now. We're gonna let the jack out, and I'm gonna let the truck down so we can go back inside to inspect the top of the bell housing and make sure that there's nothing interfering with the bell housing to block fit, like another wire or a bracket or something like that. And if that's the case, or not the case, we'll raise it back up, finish bolting it in, then we'll get the rest of the connections done, starter back in, torque converter bolts, etc., all that good stuff. So let me get this strap thing out of here and lower the jack and get it out of the way. I'm tired of running into it with my rolly chair here. Coming down slowly. There she is. My wood fell out. Okay, it's hot, so I'm a little winded. I just raised this thing back up. I was up top of the bell housing. I got the remaining 2 transmission bolts installed and torqued down. That one's the final one that needs to be torqued, which is now clicked. Next up, I need to get the torque converter bolts in, and then we'll get the drive shaft and the cross member and all that stuff in there in position here. It's hot. Did you bring me water? Good, because I'm dying. It's freaking hot. It's hot in there too. I was inside. There's no airflow in this fan. Look at this, watch. It's just dripping down the everywhere. I'm drippy hot.
That's not for the face and heart.
No, this job's not even for me anymore. I'm too old for this crap. Okay, so what I need to do is turn this flywheel here. let's start getting torque converter bolts exposed. There's that ratchet. Or torque converter bolt holes exposed, rather. And we're gonna get these guys spun into position and tighten down. I've got to rotate the unit around to get each bolt in the hole first. And then once they're all threaded in, we'll go around for a second pass and tighten them. I keep dropping that ratchet. Ooh. Maybe I should stop letting it hang off of the crankshaft. That would be probably ideal, I would say. There's the bolt. Again, there's 6 on this transmission. Not 4, not 5, but 6. Okay, so not gonna work. Not even close. There. That worked. Torque. Okay, 1. I'm gonna go around. Second time, second spin around. Use the ratchet to spin the bolt down fully. The electron ratchet. Then we'll use the non-electron ratchet here to actually apply torque to the fastener. And watch how this is going to work. When I go to rotate this, the engine's going to want to turn, but the ratchet's going to come up and meet the block. Not that ratchet, the other one. It'll meet the block, and it won't be able to turn and go up, so I can apply some torque. So. Right about there. Spin it down. It's getting predictable at this point, isn't it? How many was that? 3? Sure. Kick. Couple more here. Noodle arm. I'm getting noodly googly. Kickage. This truck's been a workout. Highly physically demanding I think this is our last one, isn't it? Smells like it. Yep. We'll just go around to the next bolt, just triple, double, quadruple for the 7th time check. Make sure that one's in there tight, and we're good to get the starter back up into its position there. Yep, tight. Tight is right. Beautiful. So now, let's back it up some. We'll take that starter motor right there and get that thing bolted into its home like so right here. Everything's looking good from my vantage point. Ding. Bolt fell out. Click. Okay, starter's in. I guess now we'll fit the lower bell housing into position, the inspection cover, so to speak. What'd you say, buddy? Oh yeah, anytime, of course. Okay, cover's in. Let's start getting the bolts fed into it. 6 of them in total. We can see like 3 from here. So I'll do the ones you can't see from over here. Ones on the other side. Nice. Okay, transmission lines. The dipstick tube is already in. The lines are fairly unaffected here. They've just been sitting around the whole time. I put the clips back into the fittings. So all I've got to do is just snap those lines back in. Ow. That one's in. And the rear one, you guys can't see it, but it is snapped in. The rubber guys are in position there. Let's snap this O2 sensor wire back onto the transmission line right here. That's good. So this section is now fully reassembled. Woohoo. So, all right, I think we're in the home stretch here. We've got to get a cross member and a drive shaft in next. I've already attached the exhaust hanger bracket back to the tail shaft over here, so it'll be easier since that hanger's not in the way, or cross member's not in the way. But now I'm about to put it back in the way, so everything's buttoned up back here. We're looking good. Let's let us proceed with the rest of the components. Okay, the member of cross. Lift it up, chop it in. It's stupid heavy because it's a piece of steel. Okay, I've got the nut that goes up to that transmission mount. I get that nut in, we're good, it can't go anywhere. I mean, it can still move, but it can't really like go anywhere, you know. Put those fuel lines back on while I'm standing here. That's good. Now, get this thing bolted back in with its side bolts here on our member of cross. Jack this thing up some. I've got the post jack back out. Lift it up, and then we can get these bolts lined up. Let's see if we got it. sure, sort of. Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire sauce. Got one up top. Woohoo! Alright, there's 3 on this side. Let me mosey on over here to the other side. I'm going to take my transmission jack back, because I don't need it in the middle. I need it over here on the side. Jack that member back up. Bolt hole is lined up, or I thought it was lined up. Let's see. It is almost lined up. A little bit higher. Yep. Now thread it in. That top one. Ooh, did you see the frame flex inwards? Oh, heavy. Yeah. Woo! Okay. Cross members in. Let's get the center bolt and then the drive shaft. And that nut should be easy. Just go up there and tighten it up. Beautiful. Reassembly nearly complete. Beginning shaft insertion now. Line that up, wiggle her in there, bottom it out. Up. Ah, it came out. Get in there. There we go. Back differential. Yep. And then sitting on my straps. There's a chair here. These guys. Rotate it around. Hey Dave! I need to work on something on mine. I asked him to do a Amsoil rear differential fluid exchange on the stacks over here. 75, 90. The right hand won the race. I did throw a dab of grease on these U-joint caps, by the way, like I said in the earlier video. to go. All right. Okay, quick recap. Everything's bolted in. I just put in about 6 quarts of transmission fluid. Just put in about 7 quarts of 530 Royal Purple. That's what the customer brought. They brought their own oil. Let's go ahead and hop in. No! I gotta put the transmission shift lever back on. Remember I rotated the drive shaft? Well, I have the shift lever disconnected, so I need to put that back on because it's in neutral, yet the lever inside is in park. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Give me a second here. Raise this thing back on up. Here, over at the rolly chair, I need a 10 millimeter and a 15 millimeter wrench. Down on the driver's side, scooch down here. See how I took the shift lever off. What I need to do is put this thing back where I found it. So I need to shift it back into park by moving that shaft right there. That should be park. Take the nut off. That's not park. That's something else. There we go. Slide that guy on. Get the nut. 15 wrench. Now the deal is, when this tightens up, it's going to want to turn the shaft, and the only thing keeping that shaft from being able to turn is going to be that shift lever. So I grab that guy with the thumb, that way the cable doesn't take all that stress. We can tighten it up. So now that's back in position. Let's get it back out from under here. We'll let her down again, and then we can go ahead and start the engine and check for lower leaks. Like I said, I still got to do the valve covers on that one, but that's not happening today. I can tell you that right now. It's too hot to be in there. Coming down. Okay, so oil's in it, trans fluid is in it, everything's bolted on, it's in park. Again, let's go on inside, fire this thing up. Beginning first engine restarting sequence now. All right, she's running. It's alive. It's got oil pressure. Sounds nice and super quiet too. Anything leaking? No way. It's not leaking. I just fixed it. Why would it leak after I fixed it? That's just silliness. Yep, oil pressure's good. Voltage is good. I'm good, you're good, we're all good. The engine's good. Powering down. Woohoo. All right, boys and girls and children of all ages. I do not believe I have anything more to offer you on this particular video. I believe this is a good stopping point where we are. The only thing left on this van to do is going to be an axle service out back, swimming pool fingers, and these valve covers up here, and that'll about conclude the extent of the repairs in this visit for this 2009 Chevrolet van. So guys, having said all that, as always, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for watching this video. Let me know what you think about this video in the comment section down below. Do not forget to engage that like and subscribe button where down there. And most importantly, do not forget to have yourselves a fantastic day. See you guys later in a video, end of oil leak repair, end of transmission.